Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 9 and will present about the impact of Industrial Revolution 4.0 on the manufacturing export sector from 2011 until 2020. Before that, let me introduce our group member. Firstly, we have Muhammad Haziq bin Ahmad Sahar. The second one is Muhammad Syamil Nazlin bin Zulkifli. And the third one is Hawani Atirah binti Muhammad Zainul Abidin. And me myself, Dewi Masita binti Zaini. And the last one, but not least, is Muhammad Irfan bin Nazri.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Hawani Atirah binti Muhammad Zainul Abidin with number matric 278548 and I'm from Group 9. So I will start for the introduction first. 1.1 Research Background. Since 1980, Malaysian economy had been transformed from agriculture to manufacturing. Manufacturing provides an essential role for learning and developing process skills and capabilities of industries that are important to the country's economic future. Since Malaysia had practiced an open economy, the target to get a surplus for trade balance was important for economic growth, which total export exceeds total import. According to Minister of International Trade and Industry MITI, the expansion of the demand of export goods is due to the increasing on the demand of manufactured goods, especially electric and electronic products. As manufacturing sector had the largest contribution, which is 70%, it played an important role as a backbone of Malaysia's economic growth. The role of Industry Revolution 4.0 on introducing the concept of Internet of Things (IoT) had important role on the development of manufacturing era. So I will continue the introduction with research objective. The objective of the research is mainly to discover deeper about the impact of Industrial Revolution 4.0 on the manufacturing sector in Malaysia, precisely in the period from 2011 to 2020. Specifically, we want to analyze the contribution and the growth rate of manufacturing sector in Malaysia export from 2011 to 2020. Second, we want to identify the factors that influence the manufacturing as a major sector of Malaysian export from 2011 to 2020. And the third is studying the effect of Industrial Revolution 4.0 to the manufactured export sector from 2011 to 2020.
My name is Muhammad Irfan bin Nazri, number matrix 281553. For the literature review part, the Industrial Revolution 4.0 also defined as the successful techniques, manufacturing procedures and information technology integration, which also refers to the digitalization manufacturing industry. And for the IR 4.0 techniques, previous research has shown that the IR 4.0 techniques integration enhance the operational performance, which includes Internet of Things, advanced manufacturing, robotic system, artificial intelligence, big data analytics, and cloud computing. For the impact of the IR 4.0, the implementation of IR 4.0 technology may significantly influence the manufacturing performance, and other IR 4.0 technology also could accomplish a colossal enhancement in product improvement and service innovation. And further in this topic, we will be discussing all the objectives of the study, which we decide to discuss more about the impact of IR 4.0. They are supposed to offer more and wider research for the performance and manufacturing sector that occurs respectively in Malaysia export in the period of a decade from 2011 to 2020.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to madam. I am Dewi Masita binti Zaini with matric number 279636. We will present about the analysis of the first objective, which is analysis the share and the growth rate of manufactured export from 2011 until 2020. From the diagram, we can observe that the share of manufactured export was above 70% and the growth rate of the share show a fluctuation trend. Firstly, on the year 2011, we can see that the share of manufactured export to the total export is 72.59%, which is indicate the lowest contribution compared to other year from 2011 until 2020. This is because of the lower demand of electronic equipment from developed countries such as from United States and Europe. This can be shown from the value of electronic equipment and part in 2011 is 75.069 billion, which decreased to 12% compared to previous year. Then we jump to 2015, and this year the manufacturing export was RM625.429 billion, and the share was start to give contribution up to 80% to total export, which in detail is 80.46%. At the other point of view, the growth rate also showed the highest rate, which increased up to 4.89%. This because the demand for semiconductor product was higher at this period, especially from US, Singapore, China, and European Union. Next, on the year 2016, manufacturing export contribute about 82%, which in terms of value is 645.768 billion. However, in 2017, the share was declined to 81.65%, with a growth rate of negative 0.5%. This is due to the slightly decline in non-E&E product, which is jewelry, beverage, and tobacco. Despite from that, at the next 3 years, the share start to recover to 85.71% in 2020.
On 2020, the total export was decreased to 943,761 billion compared to 995,072 billion on 2019. As the total export dropped, the manufactured export also decreased from 840,586 billion in 2019 to 808,857 billion in 2020. However, the share of manufactured export to total export showed the highest contribution compared to other year, which is 85.71%. This is because the global demand for semiconductor equipment in telecommunication, medical device and segments cloud computing have been increased since the operating restriction because of pandemic COVID-19 are lifted by the end of the second quarter of 2020.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Syamil Nazrin bin Zulkifli. My metric number is 278048. Now I will present about the factor that influence manufacturing as a major sector in Malaysian export from 2011 to 2020. For the first factor is global economic development and megatrend around the world, driven by new technologies for manufacturing sector, especially for the value and high technology sector. In 2012, the manufacturing sector grew strongly at 4.8% and remained the sector with the highest export contribution. This is because the manufacturing sector has taken advantage of megatrends such as growth for the green sector and e-connectivity. Due to natural disaster in Japan and Thailand in 2011, E&E product experienced a recovery and demand for chemical and petroleum product are continued. Next, the second factor is that the external environment in the second half of 2013 improved. In 2013, manufactured goods continue to dominate export, which is because there is a recovery in the E&E cycle resulting in export of E&E product increasing by 2.4%. In addition, Singapore remained the major export destination for refined petroleum products, accounting for 42.3%. For LNG, after Qatar, Malaysia is listed as the second largest LNG exporter in the world, and Japan is Malaysia's main LNG export destination. For the third factor is that the manufacturing sector has helped in increasing full employment. Labour plays an important role in the growth of production and productivity of labour. According to statistics, show an increase in total employment from 2011 to 2016 in the manufacturing sector. This causes the total labour force in the manufacturing sector is the highest of all working population by sector. The high amount of labour force could affect the value of export of goods in the manufacturing sector, which increased from 2011 of RM504.2 billion to RM645.7 billion in 2016. Next, the factor is the change in the economic structure of the country. The contribution of the agricultural sector to GDP and employment has declined. On the other hand, the contribution of modern sectors such as the manufacturing sector is increasing rapidly. Employment opportunities in the modern sector have increased, especially in the manufacturing sector. This has caused the manufacturing subsector to have increased and cause it to be the highest production of export goods. This indicates that the change in economic structure from the agricultural sector, people began to enter the manufacturing sector. For the last but not least, the factor is national policy on Industry 4.0. Industry Forward Policy in 2018 to 2025. This policy is put to achieve transformation in the manufacturing and service sector within that time frame. This policy enables Malaysia to be a leading destination for high-tech investment and as a provider of comprehensive solution of cutting-edge technology. In 2018, export of goods in manufacturing sector were recorded at RM 837.1 billion and continue to increase to RM 849.5 billion in 2020. This record shows that government policy has had a positive impact on the manufacturing sector to be able to maintain its position as the highest contributor in export goods.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haziq bin Ahmad Saha. My metric number is 277208. I will continue to present about studying the effect of Industrial Revolution 4.0 to the manufacturing export sector. For this topic, it has two categories, that is the challenges and the opportunities. For the first challenge to manufacturing sector is low labor productivity. Based on MPC 2014, Malaysia's productivity growth rate is still low at 2.3% compared to developing countries such as neighboring Thailand, which is 2.5%. Second challenge is shortage of skilled labor. A combination of system and digital technology, reliance on less skilled labor is no longer necessary. Third is decline in national competitiveness. To remain competitive, the country manufacturing sector needs to constantly innovate and improve product features and quality. Fourth is cyber security threats. A study conducted by Eclipse IoT developer found an increase in security issues in 2019 of 38% compared to 2018, which is 30%. This clearly shows that the more technology improve, the higher the threat of crime. Lastly is demography of workplace will change. According to Klaus Schwab, based on his book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, Industry 4.0 has changed the way we work and live. Now, I will present about the opportunity to manufacturing sector. The first is, it can increase efficiency and productivity. Based on Mampu 2016 report, the impact of the use of technology in the manufacturing sector has increased manufacturing productivity per employee by 30%. Secondly is, it can reduce operating costs. In 2018, MIMOS was launched the SMISP that aimed at developing cost-effective, flexible and reliable technology solutions to accelerate the adoption of Industry 4.0 technology. Thirdly, it can create various employment opportunities. According to the McKinsey Global Institute, it is estimated that by 2030, 400 million to 800 million jobs will be replaced. Fourthly, it will be the change between sectors. Based on the analysis of the MOF, shows that vegetable oil has supported the growth of other industry in terms of backward chain at 2.55 points. Lastly, it can upskill local talent. In 2019 and 2020, MITI has implemented RA program and the intervention fund to open opportunities for SME to adapt technology to this Industry 4.0.
Last but not least, conclusively, we can conclude that the manufacturing sector is the main sector that dominates the exportation of the country, whereas its contribution remains at the highest position from 2011 until 2020. This sector grows in line with national progress, where there are also the factors that can affect the exportations. Therefore, the authorities must play an important role to maintain and improve the performance of the manufacturing sector in contributing revenue to the country and become a sector that has high attractiveness for the stakeholder itself, and also that Malaysia can become a developed and successful industry in the future. And for the recommendation, we have a few suggestions that we can justify for government to increase the exportation of the manufacturing sector, which is, instead of an import substitution program, the government should pursue an export promotion approach. The government also need to intensely and all out backing up the exporting enterprises with a variety of incentive measures, including preferential treatment in credit allocation and the taxation system. That's all from our group for the topic of the impact of Industrial Revolution 4.0 on the manufacturing sector in Malaysia from 2011 until 2020. Thank you.